Alrighty, Season 7, Episode 16, Deep Space Nine.
Enter Arma Enim Silent Ledges.
Otherwise, if you don't know your Latin, or you're a little rusty on it, it means, in times of war, the law falls silent.
Yeah.
Ah.
Which is quite a conundrum, isn't it?
Right?
More so than the...
Than Lore Reloaded's dual compare and contrast.
Well, yeah.
Two captains. Yeah, we're going to pick on Lore Reloaded because it needs to be picked on.
But no, this was quite a moral conundrum for Bashir in this one.
Well, and actually, since it involves the Admiral, it really goes to the heart of the actual Federation. The utopian ideals that... All right, so let's say, because in New Trek, STD and all that shit...
Yeah.
Oh, of course Star Trek in the future is socialism. So it's an illusion. It's a mirage. A glamour.
It is not socialism.
I'm just saying.
Sorry, I know that
that's
the point you're making. Wrong. It is more or less democracy.
Yeah, which isn't what America actually is. It's a representative republic.
We're a democratic republic. Representative republic.
Yeah.
But
it's devolved into a democracy.
The Federation is very much a democratic republic in its own...
So that it would be more socialistic. Yeah.
It is very much like the old Republic of Star Wars.
Ineffective.
And it is more or less modeled after the United States with their Constitution and representative, all the Senate representatives of the different members of the Federation.
Yeah. What I find interesting, this is only the second time in... What would this era of Star Trek be called? From Next Generation to Enterprise? The end of Trek?
Well, this is beyond Next Generation in continuity.
Yes, but this whole kind of era of Star Trek.
Enterprise goes over, but there's... Well...
Last of canon Star Trek.
Pretty much, yeah. No, that's where you're going. Yeah.
So, it's only been...
Next Gen, DS9, Voyager, Enterprise, and that's it. And whatever theatrical films.
Yeah, the end of canon. Anyway, my point is that this is only the second time in this era of Star Trek that the Federation has had a reference to the old Roman Empire.
Yeah.
So I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to the episode. What do you think about it?
Well, it is the culmination, I think, of the whole thing between Bashir and Section 31 that had been going on.
Friscalating, kind of simmering.
Yes. And what's his name? The Section 31 operative guy? Sloan. Yeah.
Who was in Roseanne and Shawshank Redemption. Mm-hmm. Anyway, we've been getting a kick. We've been doing a kick.
We've been doing a thing about actors who have done Star Trek. Yeah.
And he's a special guest appearance. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a good actor.
But he was really good, though. Yeah. He was really good as Sloan. He was a recurring character. He made many appearances.
Yeah.
And to go from what we got in DS9 with Section 31 and Sloan and all that business to what we got
non-canon Trek.
Let's just not go there.
It's non-canon Trek, so it doesn't matter.
It was god-awful.
It's worse than the novels. Just say that.
Yeah.
Because people don't regard the novels anything near close to canon. So anyway, but no, this was a really great episode because you get to be on Romulus. You're usually never on Romulus.
Very rarely.
Yeah, and it was just a cool.
And Adrian Barbeau.
Yeah,
was a bonus.
Yeah, and it was just a cool episode because the political machinations and how easy it is for Section 31 to slide right in and start working their voodoo.
Speaking of Lore Reloaded and his politics, this one was very politically charged.
Absolutely. And why did they use this one? He used this one as a moral high ground or high horse.
Because he was comparing the two captains, and Bashir's not a captain. Whatever.
But he's genetically superior.
But he is. Yeah, no, and he's. No, this one was.
And he was even like, "Oh well, we shouldn't do this. This isn't right."
Right.
The two arguments, the two speeches that he has with
With
the Admiral and with Sloane.
The Admiral and with Sloane, yes. Yeah. He knew.
And he's on the right, well.
He's all, this is not right.
Yeah.
Whatever. And he was.
The Admiral and Sloane are just like, fuck off.
And in contrast to Sisko compromising himself in the Pale Moon episode, Bashir refused to compromise himself on this one.
Yes.
Which was cool.
Now, is that, do you think, because the character's genetically manipulated, so he doesn't really have a real world grounding in it? Because remember when Garrick said, when he was, in the episode after they ditched Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
And he's just like, this is why people don't like you. You're just like, walk around like nothing's going on. Nothing's wrong. You get to live in the clouds. So is the genetically modified superior human, is that the liberal?
Definitely a factor in his attitude.
Yeah.
And his stance that he took.
Yes.
Because he is genetically superior.
Yeah. He is the Ubernaut, the Superman.
But being genetically superior doesn't necessarily make you morally superior. Right?
No, yeah.
But it's easy to take that stance.
Yeah.
So I don't think he was acting morally superior.
No.
He was just sticking to his guns.
This is right, this is wrong.
Right.
And you guys are a bunch of assholes.
This is the line, this is where I draw it.
Yeah.
I ain't crossing it.
So why didn't Lore Reloaded do something on this? Or was this too complicated?
No, well, maybe he has a whole dissertation on this episode somewhere.
But I think this was too complicated, too murky, too soupy, where he couldn't draw distinctions between because
it wasn't so clearly delineated.
Yes,
yeah,
and you could see that Bashir is kind of a lefty loony kind of person, maybe if you wanted to, and then the Admiral and Sloane are the arch Republicans. Why wouldn't he? Oh, he wanted a straw man. There's two of them.
Right?
The fuck? Anyway. It was a great episode, and you need to watch it.
No, it is it's a good one.
We can't say one of the best, because they're all really...
It's season 7, so it's
tying up...
Episode 16, so it's
winding up, yeah.
It's getting thick at this point.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's a good episode, man.
So... tell us what you think. Like, share, subscribe,